basically everything functions in your head. You know, if you're seeing something now and you're looking at the screen, you're just getting light that comes into your eye and goes on your optic nerve and sends electrical impulses up to your brain, and you have an upside down image in your brain somewhere which your brain interprets. That's how your natural sight works. The eyes of your heart is no different. It's a screen, your imagination, that has images projected onto it, either by God or by your by yourself, by ourselves. It's our imagination. We can use it. We can activate it. You know, and most people, I think, to start with, you know, are sort of saying things like, well, oh, I find it really hard. But I said, well, okay, close your eyes and imagine your front door. And most people think, oh, yeah, I can do that. And I said, well, then you can activate your imagination and imagine anything. You know, it's really not difficult. We just got to get our head out of the way, and don't let the enemy lie to us and say, oh, that's just a figment of your imagination, or you're just making it up, or it's just in your head. Well, everything's in our head. Yeah, that's where we get any sort of information and any sort of revelation. Actually, whether it comes into our spirit or into our heart, wherever it comes, eventually it has to be interpreted in our mind into our conscious thought. And so we might as well just get used to that's where all it goes on, and learn to understand how the flow of information comes. And so whether it comes in a visual sense, whether it comes in a sense of thoughts or impressions, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is you just get a flow of the revelation that you can then know where you are or what you're doing or whatever. Whether you see it as a visionary thing or not, I found doesn't really matter much. It's actually just knowing in your spirit. So your spiritual eyes operate differently from your natural eyes. And how it works for me, it's like when I began to try and I know Ian sort of does some exercises where it's like, okay, close your eyes, and it's like you see a black screen. Okay, try and actually see your hand with your eyes closed. So look at your hand, visualize it, close your eyes. Can you still see it? No. So, no, I can't. You know, that's what it was like. You know, okay, can I imagine it? Yeah, but can I see it? No. Okay, so then it was like, okay, well, then visualize your hand, visualize it taking that black screen and pulling it back like a curtain, so that the eyes of your spirit, which is just normally black, becomes something where you can see. And I started to teach some people this, and people were starting to see things. I didn't really see an awful lot. I sort of saw light, and I generally see portals of things. But I was beginning to activate the eyes of my spirit. And then it dawned on me that I could see in the realm of the spirit. And and it was like, particularly when we had worship times, I was starting to see angels, and I was starting to see portals open up, and I was starting to see the different things, seven spirits of God, all sorts of stuff. But I wasn't seeing it visually, but I could describe it to you. So I was able to describe what was going on in the spiritual realm around people. I could see the colors people were giving off. I could sense the angels that were around them, their own personal angels that were with them. And I could describe those angels really easily, you know. And it was just like, oh, so that's what being able to see with your spiritual eyes is. I just know what's there, and I can describe it in detail, but I'm not actually seeing a vision. So I can do that with my eyes open. I like parables, and so I asked God to show me how this works. And so how he described it to me was like sonar. You know, sonar sends out a ping of sound into water, and the water carries it 4 times faster than it can carry it in air, and it hits an object, and the echo of that sonar comes back, and you pick it up detect it and read it on a screen. So you can see another submarine, or you can see a shoal of fish or rocks or whatever. And that's what God said to me. So because you've been activating your spirit and getting your spirit to flow through the gates of your soul, and you've been opening those gates and purifying them and cleansing them and all that stuff, then you've created an atmosphere of the spirit, like the river of life flowing from the inside. You've created this spiritual environment where your spirit is engaging outside of your physical body. So when you walk into a room, if you engage your spirit and send out like a spiritual electromagnetic pulse, if you like, because the spirit operates in a wavelength or a frequency that we can't see with our natural eyes or hear with our natural ears, but actually our body can detect it, because our body is an amplifier of frequency. And so that's how he described it. So it's like my spirit can look out, almost like send out a signal and receive it back, and then that goes into my body. It receives those vibrations, those frequencies, and that then gets translated into my brain as a complete description of what there is there.
I'd like to introduce you to the Engaging God program. Join us and hundreds of others around the world on this exciting adventure, and I'll look forward to walking with you on this journey.